Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Tampa Bay Q&A. We are live tonight. I know it's a pretty interesting topic that we're going to talk about too, as a matter of fact, that I think if you are a Florida homeowner or considering buying a home in the area, you're going to want to know about these things. So we are definitely going to get in the mix of what's going on with both property taxes here in Florida, because the noise is getting louder as we push towards a vote. So we're going to get into the details of that. And then also HOAs. This is another conversation that's been heated for Florida homeowners, and they're trying to tackle both of these things at once. So I think tonight's going to be a pretty interesting evening. Alongside of that, we're going to have two co-hosts. Well, at least one for sure. I know Stacy, who you guys are probably very familiar with. She's out on the road serving clients. They had she helped a client closing a new property today, and she was driving back from Paris. So she's going to be a little bit late. And then we also have another special guest who I'm about to bring on. You have met her before, but I'm excited to bring her back tonight, and excited to be with you guys. And if you've never joined us before, my name is Juan Alcalá. We make videos that are all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, and what it's like to play here. I'm also a licensed real estate agent and a team leader with the True Living Group, where we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest all over the Tampa Bay area. Now, let's get into this, because again, we're talking about Florida property taxes, and we're talking about HOAs tonight. Lots more topics to get into. And if you've never joined us live before, we want to engage with you. Okay. So this is not a news broadcast where we're talking at you as an audience. We're really trying to answer your questions in real time. So please feel free to ask those questions with us. And I'd love to know your thoughts. What is your opinion? I've got two questions for you in the audience this evening. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, I'll answer those, respond to you as well. But two questions for the audience this evening. Number one, are you for or against HOAs? Love to know that. And number two, what is your take on homeowners' property taxes? If you owned a home and you could get that removed and never have to pay another property tax bill as long as you own that home, would that be something you would vote for? So we're going to get in that tonight. I'm excited for it. I also want to bring in my co-hostess. We got Miss Madison Cruz in the house this evening. What's up, Madison?
Hi, guys. How are you?
It's good to see you again. We haven't had you on in like 2 months. We introduced her, and then she left us because she was busy helping all of you.
Yes.
That's really how it went down. So excited to have you on tonight, Madison. And for those of you who aren't aware of Madison, Madison's been on our team since, oh my goodness, last winter, November-ish, correct?
Yes, November.
Yep, November. And she has just jumped on the team and just went crazy serving families this year. And it's been a huge blessing to us, but also been so fun to watch her grow. And she is really good at what she does. So I'm happy to have her on with us this evening. And she happens to be a St. Petersburg resident. So if y'all are interested in the area here, she is our Pinellas County queen. You know, we call it Stacy, the queen of new construction. Well, this young lady's doing a great job down here locally as well. And, you know, she handles all things Pinellas County for us. And she has been drugged down to Parrish along with Stacy and up in West. I mean, y'all are running everywhere. But yeah, I want to get in this with you, especially because, you know, let's be real. Our clients are coming to us. They're buying, a lot of them are choosing new construction homes over previously owned properties. And while that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have an HOA or not, on new construction, it definitely does. There are very few properties in the entire Tampa Bay area that are built after the 1990s that don't have some form of homeowners association attached to them. Okay. Now, a property themselves, if someone went off and bought land and built a home, they could absolutely have a house that doesn't have that. Right, Madison? Yeah. But if they're buying into a community development, right, a subdivision, if you will, and here we call them master plan communities, if they're buying into one of those, it is highly likely that they're going to be getting an HOA assigned to them. And like I said, this is a super hot topic. So again, love to know, what is your thoughts on HOAs? Do you love them? Do you hate them? What is it? Let us know in the chat, and then also let us know in the comments later. So I want to get into this with you, Madison, because you're working both sides. You know what I mean? Here in Pinellas County, we don't have a ton of HOA on single family homes, right? The normal 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage house. If you buy a condo or a townhome, that is definitely going to be the path. And I think most people expected that. But when it comes to single family homes, you're also out in Manatee County and in Hillsborough County and Pasco County. And we're in these new property developments with home buyers, and a majority of them are coming with HOAs. So talk to me, what are you seeing out there in terms of, here's what I would like to know. Some of the restrictions, I know we're not going to get too deep. A lot of these places have 80-page HOA documents, by the way.
Yeah.
Right? Which is wild to me. But for the sake of our conversation, let's try to keep it topical, right? Like, what do clients usually ask about? What are the important things to them? And then I'd love to know from you, the audience, too. What are your concerns about HOAs? So tell us what you're hearing out there when you're in the new construction development with the builder representatives and our home buyers.
Yes. So the most common questions that I get from our clients is, can I park a boat out there? Can I park an RV? What color can I paint my house? What time do the trash cans have to be up up in the garage area? Also, a question that a client asked me today actually was, is it a mandatory requirement for me to hand out candy for Halloween in the community? Which is a great question. I've never thought of it.
No,
so, just questions like those tend to come up very often.
Yep. Well, that's a good start. And Desiree says, get rid of both property taxes and the HOAs. And I think a lot of people feel this way. We all have our apprehensions between the pros and cons. And just so you guys know, this Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you watch our YouTube channel, my video this week is specifically on the elimination of property taxes. So I'm going to get even deeper on that video. But this is for us, right, to have a conversations about as homeowners, right? Madison, you own a home in Pinellas County. I own a home in Pinellas County. Speaking of which, mine came in this past week. Did yours?
Yep, mine did.
So, yep, we got the tax bill, and guess what? Did your taxes go down?
No.
No, that was a rhetorical question. My taxes did not go down either. No. So, this is not only, relevant to everybody's mailbox who lives here in Florida anyways, right now. This is the reality of what's going on. So I'm going to get deep on that, and I want to let you guys know, but we're starting out tonight talking about the HOA specifically because the fact that we're even having a conversation about possibly eliminating both, oh my God, gets me so excited.
Yeah.
And the governor earlier this year had a pretty big win. They had a court case against HOAs because they were over the top restrictive, and they've been able to repeal some of that stuff back, which is great. And I want to get into some of the pros too on this, right? Like some of the just talking in general, because just like everything else, I think, there's a lot of people have good intentions about what their approach is going to be, and then human beings manage it.
Yeah.
Right. And we're not good at managing things. Right. Is that fair to say? Would you guys agree? Those of you guys watching it now too, like, and people who, it's unfortunate, but like, someone who is in control over money specifically, or power in some sort of way, who can make decisions and it doesn't really affect their life, they tend to not think real hard on all the things they're doing. That's just human nature, right? I eat more snacks than I should. Evidence. And I can argue it all day long, but here's the reality. If I didn't have the snacks in the house, probably be a little bit thinner, right? So the idea is wonderful, but the execution is always the difficult part, right? So when you think about HOAs, the goal of most homeowners associations originally was like, hey, let's be able to keep our sign and our street clean. Let's keep those two things clean. We'll put some flowers out by the signs, but we want to make sure that our community stays clean. That's how this whole thing started. And just like everything else in the country, when people are involved, they're like, well, that's not enough rules because somebody broke one. So you get another rule, and then somebody breaks another rule. All right. Or it wasn't a rule yet, but it was something that the majority apparently didn't appreciate. So these rules start piling up. And, I'm not explaining anything new to anybody here when it comes to this stuff, but when they started, that was the goal. Keep the streets clean, keep the pool clean and maintained, because I don't know about you. Y'all think about this. If you had a community pool and you had no HOA association, there's only two ways you're getting that solved to keep that pool going, right? One, somebody's got to take a shift on Saturday. Somebody's got to take a shift on Sunday. Somebody's got to take a shift on Monday, probably 3 times a day to leave their house and go clean their community pool so it can keep rocking. That's one way. Or the other way is we all chip in together and get a pool person, right? Which is essentially what you're doing with the HOA. However, once it starts getting legislated, meaning that like it must occur, and now you don't have control to negotiate necessarily because you pass that along to another person, these things can get really challenging really quick, right? Really, really, really quick. So these are the challenges that people are facing on these topics. And listen, I live in a non-HOA on purpose.
Yeah.
So I want to state my position. I don't need to play patty cakes with politics about it. If you guys have been following our channel and all, you know that like I'm not necessarily a huge fan of anybody telling me what I have to do, but I also respect the fact that I'm here to love my neighbor, right? So like these are the two things that I have to keep balanced. But I know that I'm not perfect. Right. I know that my neighbor looks over sometimes when there was an RV in my lawn for the last 9 months because our home flooded, and they were like, do I really have to look at that? Welcome to Florida and no HOA. Right. Yeah. Now, that was not our intent either, but it happened. So I'm sharing this with you guys because like I would never do that. That's not who it's not who we are as a human being, but we had a pretty hard challenge here and we had that option. So like you're trying to balance both of these worlds. Right. And see which one works and what makes sense for you and your lifestyle. So it definitely can be a challenge. Let's get into some of these comments here. Lisa Desiree said she's all for getting rid of both. We're going to get into both topics tonight. If you're just joining us, welcome. Let us know where you're watching from. Number one, my 2 questions to the audience tonight specifically were, are you for or against HOAs? Would you like to see those go away? And are you for or against keeping property taxes? Because we're talking about the elimination of those in Florida as well. So we're going to get into those. And any other questions you may have, feel free to contribute to the conversation. We love having you guys here. And just really seeing what's going on. So love it. All right. Derek says, it's been 2 pretty ugly days here in the Bay Area this week. Ready to see some sunshine again? Yeah, absolutely, man. Today, and the sun is poking out as we speak right over my shoulder right now. Which is awesome because we are definitely overdue. And that's so funny that you bring that up, Derek. Madison, you're originally from the Midwest too, correct?
Yes, from Ohio.
Yep. So you're from the Columbus area, right?
Yes.
And I'm from the Metro Detroit area. And for Madison and I, from essentially November all the way until April, we would only see the sun, 3 to 5 times a month?
Yeah, it was pretty miserable. Thinking back on it, I'm like, how did I survive?
Dude, so when you have back-to-back days like we've had here, I'm with you, Derek. It is definitely like, I'm ready, man. You're like, give me vitamin D, please and thank you. Yeah. I'm here for it. So yeah, I'm with you, my man. Oh, Vlad. Vlad's my man. Vlad dropped a tip. That must be for Madison.
So kind. Thank you.
I love that's awesome. What's up, Vlad? Good to see you. What do you say here? He said, I'm for the HOA if every homeowner has to say what happens in the neighborhood. Oh, got it. And we'll get the vote on what should or shouldn't happen in the neighborhood. Well, technically, that is almost the letter of the law in every single HOA, right? It's a homeowners association. So it should work that way. But again, politics happen. Right? Like we have a country that's super divided. Like, how do you not think that's happening in your neighborhood? So now you got to get people to think the same way. So this is why it can be a challenge, right? Definitely can be a challenge. But again, definitely, if you're going to have one, everybody needs to be able to vote on it. I'm with you on that 100%, Vlad. Kevin says, good evening from Lakeland. What is up, Kevin? Good to see you, my brother. He said, all right, he's got an opinion here. Jane says, I hate the HOA. My opinion, if they're paid off the home, they should not pay property taxes either, especially those elderly in the school Social Security payment. Yeah. So we talked a lot about this, and shout out to Jane. She's a new Floridian. We are happy to have her as part of our community for sure. She's defecting from the West, y'all, is the way that we would put that. But I'm with you. I've stated this before. I'm pro elimination of property taxes. I'm not pro of not investing in my community. So this is the challenge that they're going to be faced with. And what do I mean by that? Like, we homeschool. I pay taxes on majority of our taxes. As a matter of fact, I'll give you guys the exact number. I'm going to tell you guys how much my taxes are right now. Okay. We bought our house in 2023, September of 2023. We're about to celebrate 2 years. Our taxes have gone up both years. Right now, my property taxes, if they adopt their budget proposal, will be $8,386 this year. Okay, and they're in arrears, right? So again, it is what it is. I signed up for it. I understand that part, but I want to share with you guys the school component of this. Okay, because there's two, and this is one of them that the governor has an opportunity to make a direct impact on, and this is what I want to share with y'all. Okay, there are 2 lines on my Pinellas County tax statement that says public schools. Number 1, by state law, meaning that there is a law in place that the state collects it, and that will be to the tune of $1,461. So out of that $8,400, $1,400 is designed to go to the state education fund. Okay, now our local board here in Pinellas County. Okay, so this is the second line here. That second line is $1,558. So $3,000 in property of our property taxes are going to education. Okay, and again, we homeschool. We never sent our kids or got quote unquote anything in return for those services. However, I'm investing in the community, right? That's the way we've always looked at that. Why would I not look at it any other way? All right. Now, again, these are forced upon you, but still, I understand the exchange. Good. Okay. So like sharing that tax information with you, Matt, I know you said you got your bill too. It's just, that's a big chunk. If you think about it, what's $8,400 divided by 12? Can you do the math on it real quick? And oh, the queen has arrived, y'all.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
We now feel complete. The Stacy show can commence, and I'm just joking, y'all. Please welcome Miss Stacy Amon up in Pasco County. Good evening.
Good evening. So I was just grabbing my tax bill since I heard what you were talking about.
I gave you time. That's great. Well, you just helped somebody close, so we didn't know if you were coming, and that's awesome, by the way. So shout out to our families who just, got their house down in Parish today. So shout out to that. But yeah, I was going through this bill, and we're talking about HOAs and taxes and those 2 things tonight. And this is pertinent because our tax bill just came out. And Stacy, I'm going deep on the abolishment of property taxes this Saturday on our YouTube channel. So I'm super excited for that video. But we're talking about also the possible elimination of HOAs, which I know you're the one out of the 3 of us who actually has a homeowners association. So we want to get your opinion too. Madison was sharing with us what the feedback has been from the clients. What are the questions that they typically have? So I think, just kind of handing it over to you, and then we'll get back over to taxes in a minute, because this conversation is great. What I would ask of you is, what are you hearing from our clients? We talked about you being the queen of new construction earlier. You built over 30 homes in the last 2 years with our clients. That's a lot of new construction, y'all. She sees a lot of HOA documents, a lot of contracts. They're always changing all the time. What are you seeing? And what is most importantly, what are the clients asking? The home buyers who are looking at these new construction developments, looking at these HOAs, they're terrified. What are the most common questions you're getting?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, they they don't want to be told what they can and can't do with their own property.
Yep.
So, but most of them are just simple questions like, can I have a fence? What are the regulations on fences? Can I
Yep.
park my work truck in the driveway? Are we allowed to park on the street? Those kinds of questions, you know, pet restrictions, rental restrictions. Yeah, there's a lot of restrictions in HOA.
There are a lot, and some of them are real heavy, some of them are not. And the thing we were discussing before you rolled in is like the thing that most people leave out of the conversation is, listen, y'all, you can have some of the most quote unquote restrictive HOAs possible. And what I mean by that is like they lay out everything, you know what I mean, around your property when things have to be done. You can have that, but if you have an HOA president or a board that isn't is aggressive on how they hold people accountable to that, or you have neighbors, more importantly, here's the real important thing. You have neighbors also who let's just all get along, live our life, take care of our properties. Okay. And if you have neighbors like that, it's going to be a pretty laid back ride for the majority of the time you own that home. But all it takes is one person. And I hate using this name, but everybody knows Karen. Right? Call him Kyle or Kenny on the male side. I don't call him Juan. I don't care. I'm not here to offend anybody, right? But the point is, everybody knows who that archetype is, which is like, hey, you can't have this, and I'm going to hold you all the way to the line. It could be something as simple as like their graduation posters for their kids. Like it can get wild, right? And, you know, we get these questions a lot of the time about breeds. So what are some of the most common restrictions that you ladies see out there when it comes to HOAs that you feel are both personally and professionally more aggressive than they should be?
I think the work truck thing, that kind of bothers me.
Yeah. That was the huge point of that lawsuit this year.
Yeah.
Because of that, right? Because the guy might have a plumbing truck that the boss loans him overnight, and his neighbors are giving him crap about having a commercial vehicle.
Yeah.
That is wild. I agree. What else, Stacy?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot here. I don't
Dogs.
know.
I was gonna say the sheds in the backyard. Like a lot of people can't even have sheds back there. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, the structural stuff. I think so too.
Yeah, because, you know, one of the biggest concerns about everyone moving here is storage. Because we don't have basements. And if you buy older homes, there's not a lot of closets. And so that's always a big concern. And not being able to have a shed in the back is an issue for some people too, because they want to be able to park their cars in the garage, but they got all the tools and the lawn mower and all that stuff. Something else is you can't plant like fruit trees and that kind of thing. Can't have a garden in your backyard.
Yep.
That's a big issue for people too. It
is, right? The fruit trees, and when you kind of explain this, because when I heard that the first time, I'm like, this is Florida. What are we talking about? The back of our plate has 2 oranges on it, y'all. Like this is a joke, right? And you know, being in a neighborhood that doesn't have HOAs and seeing mango and avocado and citrus all over the place, I'm like, how could you never want this? And then in the winter, and as it starts to fall off the trees, you start to see all the bugs, right? And all the pests that it brings along with it. And you're like, oh, now I understand. I won't say I agree, but I understand why they're doing that. So remember, y'all, Florida has rats just like everybody else. Right?
They're big too.
That may not be the sexiest thing in the world to say, but I need you to understand this. Florida has rats and we don't have tunnels. So when you think about that, you don't want to be inviting friends and family to the neighborhood that don't belong. If they're not paying your rent, you got to start questioning whether you want them there or not. Right? So I kind of get the argument, Stacy, and same thing for you, right, Madison? You live where I live. I love seeing the mango and the avocado and the citrus. It's amazing. The smell of it, it's incredible. But I also know that when I walk by those neighbors' houses in the winter, there's just big giant piles of rotting fruit in the lawn.
Yeah. I mean, and two, I think something else is always a big concern is that HOAs going up. like the cost, not having control of that. And, Epperson, where I live, our homeowners just recently took over our HOA in January and found out whoever was managing our account or whatever, our properties, didn't do a very good job and kind of left us in the hole. And so they're going to have to raise our HOAs, and everyone's in an uproar about it because the HOA is not really doing all the things they said they were going to do as far as holding homeowners accountable for keeping their lawns mowed, and the trash cans inside the garage, and not having a whole bunch of cars parked all over the place. So, you don't have control over that, and that can be frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that tends to be a pretty big concern. But, I think the questions that we typically get are fairly, they're common sense to me. Not that everybody should know it, meaning that like, it's the same exact questions that I ask.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay. Is somebody gonna give me a hard time for like you said, the garbage cans? You know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean? Oh, okay. And then like, I've got friends over and they're parked on the street, and now somebody's going to be, complaining to the HOA president that I've got like, that is the stuff that terrifies me as a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's the excessive stuff. You know what I mean? Like having people park all over you could have 6 cars in your driveway and you have 10 cars down the street. Not that you're having a party. People don't have problems with that. But when it's continuous night after night, like you're not supposed to be doing that. What's going on? And when you have your trash cans out outside of your garage and you've got trash, your trash cans are overflowing with trash. It just doesn't look good.
Stacy, are you a Karen?
I may be complaining as I walk by, but I do not report anybody.
Oh, Alexa, that's a joke, y'all. That is totally a joke. Inappropriate one at best, but that I know that's not the case. But this is how we got to where we're, again, that's how we got to that point of like micromanagement, people overreaching, right? Is because like somebody wouldn't do the common sense thing, which is clean up after themselves, not, just be respectful of their neighbors. Like this is where the thing got out of balance, and then it got out of hand. So like the fact that they're talking about that, and this is literally a conversation that is happening at a state level right now, I think is super powerful and something to understand. So that's the first thing we wanted to start and cover this evening. Welcome y'all. If you're joining us late, we're talking about the potential elimination of homeowners associations here in the state of Florida, or a huge repeal on them of some level. And we're about to get into the conversation regarding taxes, which I already kind of touched on here a minute ago, because the tax bills came out here in the state of Florida. And I know there are a lot of people going, holy cow, because here's what I'll say. I've gotten 2 phone calls in the last 2 days about people moving out of Florida, selling an additional property, whatever it is, 3, as a matter of fact. So I talked to Madison afterwards, 3 of them, because they're having to pay these bills. Now, if it's non-homestead, meaning it's not their primary residence, they're going to treat it like an investment in this state. And you're going to get punished on your taxes. So that's something to keep in mind. But if you're Floridian, you have the homestead, your taxes are portable. There's a lot of benefits there too. But the reality is, just like your HOA, Stacy, they just keep going up, right? And property values here in Pinellas County as of last month were down 7% year over year. Okay, now that was month over month, still not towards the end of the year, but we're going to see a decline here in Pinellas County. My taxes didn't go down though, right? Now I know you're up in Wesley Chapel specifically, you know what I mean? So the city is up in terms of property values up there, which is great. And it's different in different zip codes here. Where my zip code is, we're up. Seminole is up. St. Pete is down. Clearwater's down. So like you look at these different areas, they all have different effects on it. But as we get into these taxes, and we're talking about this is a real possibility now. We spoke about this for the very first time all the way back in like February or March. We had a live stream on this and it took off. People were like, I think it got like 10,000 views, which is insane for a live stream. And we got into it, and it felt very fluffy at that point. A political stunt is the way it felt. Having that conversation in real life, and now the governor's out there literally auditing counties to see where these funds are going, a la what Stacy's talking about, because things are mismanaged. And looking at budgets, like he went into, I think it was, don't correct, there's a clip out there somewhere, but I believe it was Palm County, where they were 50%, their budget has increased 58%, even though their population has decreased by 5. And yeah, so he's out because it has to make it to the ballot for us to vote on, because they cannot eliminate property taxes at the state level. The only thing they can cut out is that section that's going to the public schools. Okay, that's required by the state. But what they can do is really start to shine the light on the cockroaches hanging out, spending everybody else's money. And that's what they're trying to do. Again, this felt more like a stunt than anything else, but now it's starting to be really, really weird. Right. And I mean, like, they're digging down on this, and there's a committee in Tallahassee who's reviewing this right now. They're trying to get this legislation onto the ballot in the state of Florida. If you don't know, in order for anything to pass, we have to have a 60% approval. Okay. It's not 50 or 51. It's 60%. So in order for us to abolish property taxes, it will have to make it to the ballot, which is always a tough thing to do. And then Floridians will have to vote on it. But it looks like this is a possibility where we're really going to get a chance to vote on this next November. I'll tell you where I stand. It's not complicated. Do I have concerns? Yep, lots of them. Right? Heck, they can't even manage the abundance we give them now. What are they going to do with less? You know, that I definitely have questions about it. I don't want to see where I live fall apart. Now, I don't think that's the case. Listen, here's I think what we all can agree on. Ladies, is it fair to say that they're not going to remove all the taxes and not hit us somewhere else?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
So for sure. I want to just be fair about how I approach this conversation, but they've done studies on this. The governor did veto a study request again. He's like, we've done this enough. I'm not here to argue whether it's right or wrong, but they got vetoed. They wanted to spend $1 million just doing the research again. They passed on that. They've already done the research on how much you would have to increase the state sales tax, because there is no state income tax in the state of Florida as well. Right, ladies? Sorry. Just gets me excited every time I say it. So we don't have a state income tax. If you eliminate our property taxes, and we were doing that math earlier and I interrupted you, forgive me. So my property taxes are $8,400 annually. What was that number every month? $700 back into our pockets, y'all. As a matter of fact, it never leaves. You open up your mortgage bill and it says no payment necessary next to property taxes. Like, y'all, I can manage that money a lot better than my state can. You know, I can read you what my crypto accounts are up right now. If you were just in the S&P this year, y'all, you're up like 15 or 20%.
Yeah.
This is wild to me. But anyways, regardless of that, let's get into it. So $700 a month. Okay, let's just say for the sake of conversation, and I've done this math in real time with everybody before. Let's say for the sake of conversation that they increase our state sales tax, which is 6%. Okay. They increase it. They double it. So the median household income in the United States is $76,000. That's the median household income, which is really low, y'all. But let's just say for the sake of conversation that you spent all $76,000 at retail on products that weren't even taxable. Because remember, we don't pay taxes on groceries, right? Real food. You know what I mean? So like, when you look at this, but let's say we spent all $76,000 on that and a 12% sales tax. What is that number? Can you give me that number, Madison? We all know it's not even close to that, but I want to start at the worst case scenario.
Yes. So 76,000 times 12%,
Mhm.
9,120.
Yep. Now divide it in half because we are already paying 6%. So this is the more, right? So what's the number you had to begin with? 9,000 what?
9,120 divided by 2 is 4,560.
Okay. So if you were spending $76,000 a year in the state of Florida at retail, currently you would only be paying 4,000 what? What's the number?
560.
Okay. I just shared with you I have an $8,000 tax bill.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Okay. Now, why is this important? Because people are like, oh, sales tax. No. First and foremost, a sales tax means you get to choose. Yes, there are some things you won't get that choice on, specific food items, et cetera, so forth, so on. But last time I checked, we're having a second amendment tax repeal right now, whatever in the state. So we don't pay taxes on that. The governor changed it. So kids always get school supplies tax-free at the register. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes, this is all true, right? Yeah. So and some of that stuff's going to have to go away. I'll just be shocked if it stays. But regardless of that, the point is, okay, if I spent, and again, I'm not saying this is what I spend, but the median household income in the United States is somewhere around $76,000. If you got every single dollar back from the government and spent every penny in the state of Florida at 12%, you would pay $9,000. Okay. At that point, you'd be breaking even if you eliminated the property taxes is what we're saying here. Listen, there ain't too many people that spend $76,000 at retail annually. Mm-hmm. There aren't many people that spend $40,000 at retail, full taxation annually. So talking about this 12%, do the math, y'all. Do the math. Okay. And going back to our senior citizens, that's a great example. Listen, we built programs that we can't write checks for. And I'm not here to argue it. Go do the math. It doesn't have an opinion. It just tells the truth. Okay. But the reality is a senior citizen who is on a fixed income in this country is already at risk. Go look at the numbers. Okay. Mm-hmm. If they can get back $3,000 annually, it will cover the 6% increase. If they were to double sales tax, it will cover them 6 ways from Sunday. Okay. Again, I should have brought up a whiteboard. We should have done the math with everybody. And I know I'm losing everybody now because we're starting to talk about math, but I'm in this conversation with home. Listen, I live in Florida. Madison lives in Florida. Stacy lives in Florida. Our clients live. We love it here. The idea of being able to, again, just that alone, right? Our veterans who we already take care of, by the way, shout another huge benefit in the state of Florida. No property taxes for our veterans. If they have 100% disabled, I think I would love to see if I had to shift something around, still pay the taxes, if they took care of them and our seniors and people who did not have a mortgage, I would completely understand that.
Did you know they also, their kids can go to a state college for free tuition?
Yeah. Oh,
for 100%.
But wait, there's more. Well, the question is, Stacy, would that program, that funding, the tax bill that we pay goes to that? So it's a good question. Just like I was saying before, we have these other tax benefits. Would we get to keep those? I don't know. Right. I don't know, but
they would be able to keep that.
Correct. But here's what's cool. If we don't get taxes abolished, you still get to keep that program you're talking about. Yeah. Right? Where kids get to go to school for free in the state of Florida, which is amazing for the first 2 years, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
First 2 years.
First 2 years, which is awesome. And then, again, school supplies. We do this for hunting and camping gear during the year. It matters to Floridians, y'all. A lot of people are on boats on the water. We still have hunters here, and it's a great part of living in this state. And you got the pros and the cons of this. And this, I'm passionate about this with everybody because, listen, we have the trifecta brewing right now. And I know most people aren't paying attention, but I am. And right now, interest rates are the lowest that they've been in the last 6 months, almost a year. Mm-hmm. Number one. And there's still downward pressure on mortgage interest rates and interest rates. That's another topic for another day. Our governor is talking about the elimination of property tax on a primary residence in the state of Florida. You already don't pay a state sales tax, or I'm sorry, state income tax. Okay. And HOAs are on the table to take a haircut too. So just going to the three most important one: interest rate declines, potential HOA repeals, and just no longer a legal option. And number three, which is the elimination of property taxes. If we get two of the three, I think it's going to be insane for us.
Yes.
If we get one of the three, I think it's going to, that's a win somewhere in there for us as a community. But if we get all three of them, I think the relocation that we had during COVID is going to look like a really easy year, because there's going to be a lot of people relocating the state of Florida again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, because I mean, we don't have a state tax. There's so not state income tax. We don't have a state tax, meaning that if you go off to see the, our Lord and Savior, that your money is going to stay with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's incredible. There's so many benefits to living here. And I know that I'm getting tangent on that side, but like, this is why we take these calls all day long. This is why we end up on Zoom calls with, we're like over 400 people this year. Holy.
So many amazing people.
I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just like, oh my goodness, there's so many people we've spoken to. And ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, they have a lot of the same concerns, fears, excitements. Like, you know, we're people, right? Like, what are the things we hear about why people are still moving to the area? Because listen, migration has slowed down dramatically. We share all those numbers. I'm not somebody who's trying to pull the wool over people's eyes. I always try to show important information. And we were 35,000 people relocating the area in 2022. It got down to like 15 or something in 2023. And then 24 was around 10,000 people that relocated to the area. It feels like we talked to all of them. Right?
Yeah.
And I love it, right? I absolutely love it. But like, they're coming for a lot of the same reasons. And we hear it over and over again. Our people who come from the West Coast they feel this is what I hear in these Zoom calls. I've sat all of these calls, y'all. Okay. We're tired of being pressured politically all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's one, right? The bigger one, I think the biggest one is what I pay in taxes for what I get in return is not even close to justifiable. It's not. You hear some of these tax numbers. New Jersey has a 10% income tax rate. New York, California, there's some wild stuff out there. And again, I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I'm just sharing with you guys what they say to us, what is important to them, right? We're tired of being overtaxed. We're tired of being, somebody trying to micromanage our life, especially our kids' lives. That's the one that gets people to move the most, right? They start coming into schools or homes and telling people what they can and can't do. Those are the people we typically see. And it may have something to do with me. I'm a homeschooler. I don't live in HOA. I get it. I completely understand that. But, as a parent, that's where my threshold is too. I don't know about you ladies, but I'm just, you start telling me what I have to do with my kids. We got to have a different conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not even a mom. I've seen how Kate responds to, like, there's a thing when they say that ladies can lift up cars, right? Like, you see it in accidents.
Yeah.
Stand clear, y'all. I'm telling you right now.
The mama there.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that a lot. So, as we get into this, and y'all, thanks for sharing the information. Shannon says that is great. And we'll see, right? We've got a lot of things that have to happen in order for some of these things to occur. And right now it's nothing more than speculation. Now we're way past smoke. You know what I mean? If there's smoke, there's fire type of thing. There's literally people throwing gasoline on things right now, right? In terms of making it go. But that's the reality of where we are. What did Keith say? He says, I'm an engineer. When you talk numbers, I get excited, especially when graphs and charts. Yeah. I don't bring those anymore. We'll get to those in the monthly numbers. I will cover that kind of stuff, but you know how it is. I really try to peel back. Key says, good question. I got my tax bill early February. Don't know if everyone else does too. Yeah, they're all different times of the year. What did Carol ask? Sorry if I
Carol
missed.
had a question about the tax bill, when she should receive one.
Okay, that's great. Why don't you take that, Stacy, because she's going to be up in Pasco.
Well, yeah, we get an estimate, a tax estimate. I've gotten mine probably about a month ago, and then we'll get our tax bill in November to be paid for the previous year.
Yeah.
So your mortgage company will pay it. And then if you're short, which yours will probably be short because you're new construction, so you're getting assessed on the land and not the actual assessed value of your home, then you'll get a letter from the mortgage company telling you how much your escrow account is short, and you can pay that difference in full, or you can roll it into your mortgage, and your mortgage payment's going to go up. So, yeah, you should get the bill in November.
Yeah, and Stacy, we overpaid our escrow. Our insurance went down.
Your insurance went down?
Our insurance went down. No, our insurance went up. Something happened. We overpaid the escrow.
You overpaid it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Kate was putting extra in there. You just didn't know it.
That's what it was, because our auto went down. Our homeowners went up.
Yeah,
$400. That's what it was. I remember now. And thanks for helping remind me that I was incorrect.
Well, because I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah, no. And I just got a notice today that Citizens trying to sell my insurance policy to someone who's approved to take it. So, like, if you want it, let us know. Apparently we get that option, but regardless of that, I thought that was very interesting. So, this topic, ladies, is one that, like, again, we're going to go really deep this Saturday. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel already, I strongly encourage you to do that, because we're going to go deep. Yes, she is the boss. If anybody knows, it's Shannon. Like, trust me for sure. So for those of you who don't know, Shannon Mars, who you see down in the bottom left corner, I know some of you know her very well. But for those of you that don't know, Shannon is an incredible mortgage lender in the state of Michigan and Florida here. And she has served a lot of our clients. She does an incredible job. She wrote my loan, she wrote Madison's loan, and Stacy took the points, so we can't.
Yeah, 2 daughters. She helped both my daughters. So
She's
part of the family now.
Essentially, yeah. So shout out to Shannon. And no, I'm not trying to sell you on her services. I just want you to know who the best person when it comes to Florida mortgage we know is. So there you go. Now you know. Yeah, there you go.
Because you know what? She answers her phone when you need her.
Yes. Even on a Sunday.
Weekends, yeah, I was going to say weekends, holidays, when it's all come crashing down, she's there.
Yes, she's in the middle of stitching something back together for us right now. So absolutely, we appreciate her very, very much. Awesome. So I know you ladies had some stuff too. This is up to you. Stace, you want to get into what you had on deck, or do you want to hold that back for next week and just finish off talking about taxes and HOAs? Because
I can hold it till next week. It's not
same thing for you, Madison, too. I know we got a little bit deep here, but these are 2 really big topics that are very important right now because of everything happening around, and there's momentum. So what I'll share with you guys is I'll put some link resources in the description down below after the video here. Usually it takes me about 24 hours to get that done, and I'll put some links up there so you can just go and look at where this is at in the process, because I think that's helpful for everybody to understand, because we get asked all the time, hey, what is the chance? What's the likelihood that this is going to happen, right? How many times were we asked that by a few of our clients, Stacy?
Every time.
Ton, right? Like, they always ask. And same thing, Madison, we get on a new Zoom call, they're like, is it going to happen? And I'm like, I don't know. We're going to vote on it, So, but
I wish.
Yes, we want to keep you in the mix. We want to make sure that you can see what's going on. And you guys have access to, all the resources that we do. If you have more questions about the area, feel free to put those in the chat or in the comments later. And if you're watching this video, don't forget to give us a subscribe so you can be notified when we do videos like this. We were just talking about this with our audience last week, but like, we're going to make some adjustments to this YouTube channel. I'm not taking anything away. As a matter of fact, we're adding. In this new year, I'm going to be adding another video weekly And I'm going to really start to get back out in the communities and these new construction developments, because we're just seeing some incredible opportunities right now. And I don't know what that's going to look like as the interest rates continue to have downward pressure. Could be great for us. If they come down a little bit and kind of hold steady, that's going to put a lot more pressure on the builders, but also give you more benefits. So that's good. If rates continue to go down, for those of you like myself who bought in 2023 with a really high interest rate, you know, I've talked to Shannon already about like, here's where our number needs. As soon as we get to this number, we are refinancing, period, because we're going to be able to lose our PMI. We're going to be able to lose private mortgage insurance. For those of you that don't know, that adds, I think our PMI is an additional $200 a month, $209. And it's gone down, I think, over time based upon the balance or something. That's a lot of money extra every month. So just losing that, and then to be able to cut like a point or point and a half off our mortgage, we could be talking about $500, $600, $700 in savings a month. And then you add property taxes on top of that. I am excited, to say the least. So, you know, I don't know where this is going to go. The HOA thing, I think that there's a lot of value for anybody who is considering moving into those newer developments, where this is a point of conversation that you need to think through, because if that does become a reality, how would that affect your life after ownership? You know, again, I'll give you a line right out of this week's video when I talk about this specifically. You know, ladies, we can go to neighborhoods like Seminole, right? Indian Rocks, were, you know, by where we live. You can go to Seminole Heights, for goodness sake, in downtown Tampa. These cities, you know, they're 100 years old and they're still great places to live. The communities are amazing.
Yeah.
So we're capable. we are capable human beings. So, you know, I would love to see that. You know, we'll definitely get through that. So I don't know where this is going to go, but I will say this: you start buying into communities, and now all of a sudden, you know, you had your lawn done, you had your pests done, you had
Wi-Fi,
the signs, Wi-Fi. Exactly. This is another thing that most people, like, not everybody has that, but Wi-Fi. You had all the
irrigation.
lights, irrigation, and then the pool. Going back, and you got 3 community pools that you guys got to manage. Now all of a sudden, you guys got to figure out how to manage that.
Yeah, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
All those amenities.
Exactly. Well, like I was telling Madison before you jumped on, somebody will have to take Monday morning. Somebody will have to take Monday lunch. Somebody has to take Monday evening. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have to pay for it, which is what you're already doing. So like,
Right.
you're on this weird cycle of it's, what's his face call it in that book? He's called it the crazy cycle. Right. It's just this doom loop and you can't get out of it. So, man, I don't know. But right now, the reality is I need to be out there because there are some great opportunities in our community, both new construction and I mean, we've looked at some properties. We've got somebody buying a home in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it's Madison. This is Madison's fault, by the way. She's literally moving you guys into my neighborhood.
90% of my clients have been near Juan, or really close to Juan this year.
Yeah, real close. She's like, "Hey, I'm at so-and-so's house. I'll be over in 3 minutes." I'm like, "What is happening?"
They're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, the other day she was looking for bags. We have these great totes that we share with our clients when we meet them, right, ladies? And like, she's already gone through all of them, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll come get it from the house." I was like, "Okay, cool." And then like literally, she's like, "I'm here," and I'm like, "What?"
It was like 3 minutes.
Yeah, and it's because she was at the inspection of the house in the neighborhood, so it was super funny. But
there's a reason why. There's a reason why.
Yeah,
I mean,
big
that
reason.
Neighborhood is fantastic. It's
no HOA.
Yeah.
All right. No HOA.
No
I'm not
HOA.
saying it's better than. It's just interesting because we're in a neighborhood that doesn't have HOAs, and the way the neighborhood. Here's what's really unique about our neighborhood, Stacy. Technically, it's 2 different subdivisions locked together, but we share like the same loop, which makes no sense to me. I don't know who built these lines, right? But we have the same loop, and 5 streets over, there's a homeowners association.
Yep.
And there you can't Airbnb a house. In my neighborhood, where even though they're unincorporated Pinellas County, there's an HOA and a deed restriction that says you can't do it. in our neighborhood, you can.
Yeah.
So it's wild. And their neighborhood is required to have terracotta roofs, stone roofs, and ours is not.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
I would think it'd have more to do with the fact you're in a non-flood zone and you're close to the beach.
Yeah. And non-evacuation.
Yeah. Location.
And if only I was the highest house in the neighborhood.
Well, you can't get it all.
No. But if that ever happens again, we'll be raising this bad boy. We've already made the decision. We're like, we'll just flip it 3 feet and we'll be good.
Don't you have another 100 years before you have to worry about it?
I hope that never happens again, to be honest with you. So for those of you that don't know, our house did get wet last year. We did share this all over the YouTube channel. So, and y'all, thanks for hanging with us tonight, man. I know this is one of those topics, and if you're watching this later, you're like, who the heck is this guy talks too much? You are correct. I do try to bring really good information to our community. We love living here. All right. Our family has been blessed beyond my wildest dreams because of moving here. It forced me to do things like get in front of you that I never thought I could do. And because of that, we've met so many wonderful people, and, shared some of Stacy's success with you this year. But like, listen, this incredible human being has been at my side. I think it'll be 3 years in February. 3 years in February. And I have watched her go from someone who was determined to do something for herself, and not in a selfish way, but like she wanted to win. She was taking care of the kids for the last 20. Well, she still is, right? But she was taking care of the kids, and she just wanted to win. And I saw her come in, and I saw her just start serving and taking care of our clients. And I saw the comments and then the reviews that y'all send for our agents, which is incredible. And I can't say enough. And she's learned so much. I've shared this a million times. We get on calls with clients who are considering relocating the area. And I'm here to tell you guys right now, if I bought new construction, if I ever did, I'm calling her. She's seen more contracts, more problems, more challenges, more opportunities than I ever have doing that specific thing, which is amazing. Over 30 new builds in the last 2.5 years, which is insane. Right? That's a lot. Hey, just so everybody who doesn't know, 71% of real estate agents in this country don't sell anything. Nothing. Zero. Okay. And she sold 30 new construction alone. That's not all she sells. But that's how much she does there. And then last year to have Madison come into our life and just come and just, she's so positive. She loves loving on people. She's able to connect in a way that I'm envious of, because it's not something that I have a gift for, but her ability to connect so much so that, I'm not going to speak for Stacy, but she reminds me of her mentor in so many ways. And for those of you who know, speaking about Marsha Railton, who's just to this day made a huge impact in my life. And Marsha advocated for Madison to join the team. She advocated for her to get into real estate and start serving people. And she did that not because she thought she would be, this amazing real estate professional who's basically gonna be all the billboards. She's selling Tampa. No, that's not who she did it because she could see her heart, and she knew how good she would be at serving. And that's something that is proved true. And I've got to have a front row seat, and so is Stacy, and so is my wife, and all of our team. And I'm seeing her grow, and then Ashley joining the team as well. And like, y'all, we're getting so many opportunities because of you. And I just don't think I take enough time to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Again, if you're watching this later, you're like, goodness gracious. But the reality is, this is amazing. Right? This is amazing. The fact that we're able to talk to strangers and then they become part of our communities. Look at the chat, man. They like hanging out with the girls, and they like hanging out with each other. It has nothing to do with this guy. Right? I'm just white noise in the background. Right? But we get to serve you guys. So if you want to make that leap, or you have more questions about moving to the area, look in the description down below. You can see our numbers on the screen there too. Anytime, pick up the phone. It goes right to my phone, wherever it is. Send us an email. Go to our website. You'll be able to take time. You can schedule a call in my calendar to talk to Madison, talk to Stacy, to talk to Ashley, talk to Kate. That's all I said.
She has been volunteering her.
She has been requested from the homeschool moms a couple times. So, yeah, it happens, and that's okay. We're here to serve. This is a huge step for most people.
Yeah.
Right. 90% of our clients. I think we've served 80 so far this year, y'all, which is that's amazing. Okay. 60 something have already bought or sold, and then the other are new construction clients from Madison and Stacy and Ashley and everybody else. And it's just incredible. So we are used to this. You know, Stacy relocated from Indiana. Madison came from Ohio, you know, and I came from Michigan, and we all get it. And it's not whether you're from the Midwest or not, but like for us, we understand. We came here because we love being active outside, love the sunshine. You heard us complaining about 2 days of no sun. It's a wrap. I'm ready to move to somewhere. Where does it get all the sun? I need to go. That doesn't get cold, by the way. Don't call me with the Colorado, Idaho stuff. I don't care. None of that's for me. All right. I like sweating, and I'm okay with it. And I know these ladies love serving you. So reach out to us. You can request them. Love hanging out there. Ladies, before we close up tonight, let's give a tease for next week. So what are we talking? I know you had some topics that we didn't get to tonight. But Madison, I'll start with you, and then we'll let Stacy shut this down. But like, what topics are we going to get into next Tuesday that they need to know about?
Yes. So there is a beach-themed play festival happening at the end of September at a really cool historic beach theater that just reopened in St. Pete. It was originally built in 1940, and they're just kind of getting it back up and running and getting it all into the swing of things. So I'm excited to share that. And then there's a couple of new restaurants as well that I think a lot of people would love.
The beach in September sounds magical. So we're excited for it. And this weekend, lady, I think 2 days from now, we're all sun for the rest of the weekend. I think it's supposed to get down like the low 70s for the morning with no humidity. I'm here for it. Oh, I'm so excited.
Crazy. I was sitting on my front porch the other morning, and it was about, I don't know, like 7:30 in the morning, just hanging out. And I'm like, it's kind of cold. So I looked to see how the temperature was. It said 76.
It doesn't. I was like, that second year.
Well, it doesn't take long.
It just
That 70s. Yeah, I'm like, I acclimated very quickly.
Stacy, guess who will not be on the paddleboard in December?
No, yeah. I was out there last weekend, and it was kind of cold. So
yeah, last week when I walked the dogs early, and I could just tell in the air. You could tell the weather's changing.
It is. It is. There's a brisk to it.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. People are like, you guys are lost your mind. I'm telling you, it happens quick, man. It happens quick. Here's how you know who's a Floridian or not. When you go to the beach in November through February, if anyone's in that water, they are not from here.
No. I didn't want to get in last weekend.
Nope. They are not from here. So that's how we know. It's a dead giveaway, y'all. Don't go in there. All right. And the other thing you remember is when you come here, that sun is way hotter than you think, especially in the winter. It's way stronger than you think.
Yeah.
Please don't get the day one sunburn blowout and regret the rest of your week. Find some shade, y'all. Find some shade. All right. Well, we'll let them get to it. Stacy, what do you got? What's coming next week?
I'm going to talk about some issues that Pasco County Schools is having due to the crazy growth that continues here in Wesley Chapel.
Yeah, and I saw that article that you sent across and some of the growth numbers that the attendance record. Oh my God, that's crazy. Stacy's got some wild stuff for you guys.
Yeah.
What else?
That was it. That's all I had. Well, and then I was going to talk about some programs that Pasco County Schools offers.
Okay. So. Perfect. This is the appropriate time, right? Because we start talking about enrollment for next year. I think this is a good point to kind of make that a priority. So we'll get heavily into education here. over the next few months, just so everybody's aware. We'll obviously keep talking about taxes too, keep you in the loop there, but we'll get you guys in the mix because we do get a ton of questions about the education stuff. And, Madison has this phrase about St. Pete, and it's also the same in our education education programs, that it's like a box of chocolates, right?
Like, you never know what you're going to get. It's interesting.
Dude, you can get some of the most incredible, education in the world. And some places you're like, ain't no way I'm sending my kids there, so just being real. We're not allowed to tell you if they're good or not. Sorry, that's our license, but I can tell you if I'd send my kids there.
Yep.
Call that what you will. All right. Well, those are great topics. Okay. Ladies, any last words before we sign off?
No, thank you again for a great night. And I apologize I was late. I'll try to be on time next week.
Yep. It was just a pleasure hanging out with you guys.
Absolutely. She'll make it a priority. Y'all have a great night. And as always, until next time, go out,